It's a place where heroes are born and legends are created. Many will come to conquer it, but only one will tame it. This one person will be our champion. Their time is now. The mountain is calling.
Welcome everyone to V8 Online's live coverage of Race of Champions 6. That nearly came out wrong. Race of Champions 6 presented by v8online.com.au and Oceanic Sim Racing, proudly supporting the McGrath Foundation. Jay Kennedy in the host chair, and alongside me tonight, Corey Slade, Leo Gray. Most exciting place we've ever broadcast at V8 Online. We're at the mountain. We're at Bathurst. G'day, guys.
Yeah, g'day Jay, g'day Leo, and how good is it to finally be at Mount Panorama Bathurst? It's been amazing. I know all the guys have been out there driving, doing laps non-stop all week, so it's I'm spewing I'm going to miss tomorrow's race, but I'm really looking forward to qualifying in the shootout tonight.
It's so good that Jay's come back from retirement already. Couldn't miss it. No. It's going to be the just for tonight. Going to be the best race I think we've seen in a long time. It's Bathurst. It's finally here, and Race of Champions. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, it should be a fantastic one. We've gone away from the 4-race format we've had in the past for Race of Champions. Tonight we will see something very, very different. V8 Supercar at Mount Panorama. What else could we have for the first broadcast race at Mount Panorama? Tonight we will have a 1-hour open qualifying session and a top 10 shootout following that. Tomorrow night we will have a little bit of a warm-up, and then we will have a 61-lap race, about 380 Ks in length. So these guys have got their work cut out tomorrow night, and of course tonight is very, very crucial to get that pole position.
Definitely a big change to what the boys are going to be used to, but you wouldn't have it any other way for this, would you? This is what this race is all about, and so it's going to be an awesome test for the drivers. Great for the spectators too. I can't wait. Bring it on.
Yeah, I think the shootouts is going to be something a lot of these guys haven't done before, and it's going to be rather high pressure too, actually, for some of these guys. I mean, you make a mistake and scrape that wall across the top of the mountain, you're going to lose your lap time. So, but I really think the shootout's going to be just a fantastic part of tonight.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be absolutely awesome to have the shootout as part of this tonight. A few guys on chatting with us before. Not many guys have ever done a shootout before, especially guys that have only raced in iRacing. They would never have done a top 10 shootout. A couple of guys that would have raced on R-Factor may have done one if they were lucky enough to be good enough. So, whole new experience for the guys, and I know almost everyone out there in qualify or out there at the moment in practice are looking forward to actually getting a chance at doing a top 10 shootout.
And it's definitely going to be a different qualifying experience for the guys compared to what they are used to, because in that shootout, there's no second chances. If you blow a lap, it's done. So it's finding that fine balance between out there on a knife's edge as quick as you can go, but keeping it off the fence, which isn't easy to do around here.
So we'll bring up our track preview. Not that anyone needs any explanation of this place. A 6.213 kilometre circuit. As I said, tomorrow night will be 61 laps. Cut 100 off the 1,000k race. So about 380 k's in length for tomorrow's race. Now, I can't wait for tomorrow. it's going to be unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm gutted I'm not going to be able to make it for tomorrow's race. I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic. The first time we've had all these big names here racing together at Mount Panorama, because of course we don't go here till week 6, the official series. So yeah, really looking forward to getting home tomorrow and definitely watching the race.
Well, it's a track and an event that need little introduction, isn't it? 23 corners, one of the toughest racetracks in the world, and we've got one of the strongest fields I think we've ever seen in a V8 supercar race here.
Yeah, in total, there's a few guys obviously absent tonight, but tomorrow night we should have 50 drivers line up for the race tomorrow night. So 50 car grid. It'll be just like old style watching races from the 70s at Bathurst with full car grids. So we'll have them lined up way around Murray's Corner and halfway back up Conrod Straight.
I reckon something could be up under the armour all sign, or even coming close to exit of the chase. That's going to be absolutely crazy.
Yeah, with the staggered grid we have in iRacing, it's actually the normal grid stall is actually double, so we'll have a lot of cars out on track.
Just what you want for an endurance type event, though. Going to make a different sort of dynamic for the race, but I think we'll see a lot of guys that are going to work on managing pace, but a lot of guys up the front just going to be pushing hard all the way to the end. So going to be some different strategies run, I think.
It's been interesting watching this this practice session at the moment. Some guys are doing really long stints to try and work out how the car feels after we're running the old sprint race tank, so 75 litre tank, getting about 17 litres if you're lucky. 17 laps if you're lucky. So a few guys doing longer runs to try and work out how the car feels with those longer runs, and other guys are just doing qualifying lap after qualifying lap. So be interesting to see what happens after tonight. Some guys might use this tonight purely for qualifying, go away, drive a bit more with the setup, and then practice their race for tomorrow. This is a fixed setup race, so everyone is running the exact same setup. There's no adjustments to the car, and it's actually quite a nice feeling setup.
I've got to say, anyone in that top 15 to 20 currently in practice, they can crack on about how they're worried about the race tomorrow. I can guarantee they'll all be out there trying to make that top 10 shootout. That's all that'll be on their minds tonight. So, I think I've heard a few guys saying they're worried more about the race, but I think that's all a bit of a lie.
But there's a chance that shootout could mix things up a bit for the race, for the grid, because it's a very different thing for these boys.
Yeah, I think, as we see in real life with the shootout, a lot of guys are happy once they've made that top 10. They don't really care. 10th is the same as pole for a lot of drivers at Bathurst. That they're not going to get much better than starting up the front. So 10th is good enough for a lot of guys. So I'm pretty sure we'll see something very strange happen. I think we might see someone very different on pole with a few guys pushing too hard.
Yeah, a lot of different ways that they can manage this. Of course, you will have guys that are going to be focusing purely on race pace. So when it comes to the event, we might even see some surprises from back in the mid-pack of guys that are just working on being consistent on their race package and carving their way through the field. Whilst you might see a couple of guys tonight trying to go for glory for that front row start for a first ever broadcast Bathurst race.
We've got about 20 minutes to go in the session we're watching now, which is an open practice session. The guys have been on track for about an hour, 40 minutes at the moment, getting a handle on the setup. But there's a few new-looking cars out there and a few names that are a bit different in different cars to what we've seen in previous seasons. So we'll start to talk about that very soon with some changes to driver lineups, etc.
It's always an exciting time, isn't it? Silly season. We get that 1 week every 3 months, and there's always one or two guys that move around to some of the big teams, and so it's always good.
Might speak to someone who's been doing a bit of recruiting. Clayton Brooks, ANZ Motorsports team manager and V8's online commentator. G'day, Brooksy.
G'day, Jay. G'day, boys. How are you?
Very good, mate. Now, you've done some very good recruiting in the off-season.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, picked up quite a few good drivers, actually. Namely, Scott Uren. He's one that's been very quick in the past, but had a bit of time off, and he's back into the V8 now. And Justin Ruggio was actually instrumental in getting Scott onto the team, and got to thank Justin for that, and thank Scott for wanting to come on board.
Yeah, very, very good recruit there. I know Scott, when he made his return, I was trying very, very hard to work out where he was going to go, and I think he'll fit in very, very well with you guys over there. So congratulations.
Oh, thanks, mate. A few of the guys have sort of gone off the V8 in recently, and Justin's really keen. He's got Lee Day there with him. Really keen sort of to have a couple of guys around him and they can push each other to improve. And Scott can definitely fill that position, so he's a perfect fit for ANZ.
A couple of other recruits that we'll see down in lower splits as well.
Yeah, mate, we're pretty excited about a guy called Jared Bilsell. He's only been sim racing for 3 months now, and he's set the times quicker than me, and I've been doing it for over 2 years. I think he's going to be very much like Lee Day we saw 2 seasons ago, just come on strong. Another guy from out that used to be on our team, George Maris, very similar to those guys, the way he's progressing.
Congratulations, mate. A couple of good signings you guys have got, and I think those Tats boys up the front of the field have got to watch their mirror a bit more closely this season.
Yeah, well, that's the plan, mate. No one likes to see the same guys winning all the time, and that's our motivation, is to get up there, mix it with those guys as a team, and hopefully we can do that. It's best for the series, it's best for you guys. You provides good coverage for you guys to show, and yeah, I think all around it's a winner if you've got different teams up there competing.
Fingers crossed we'll have got your nearby very soon as well. I think Scott's going to try and do a hot lap for us. He might actually be here now. Scotty, you there?
Yeah, I am. Thanks, Jay. How you going, guys?
Very good, mate. Now, congratulations on the drive with ANZ.
Cheers. Yeah, I'm real stoked. I was happy to have the season off and get used to these cars. So having the opportunity with ANZ is just brilliant. With the resources these guys have, it's going to be a great season for me, I think. So we'll see how we get on.
Now, how much have you fallen in love with this place, mate?
I've picked up what I could relatively quickly. I was surprised at how quickly, to be honest. So yeah, big fan as most drivers are, I'd imagine. So yeah, we'll see how we go in the race. That's a huge race, and we still don't know how long the setup we've got here lasts over 61 laps. So it's going to be fascinating.
Now, I was in a session with you earlier today. I think all you've done all day is just done laps.
Yeah, I did a few earlier on to try and get my head around this setup you've given us. Pretty great setup, I tell you what, but yeah, tunneling is slightly different to this morning, so I'm a little bit off my morning pace, but not too much, few tenths.
Now, Scotty, when you mentioned the way the car's handling there, were you just touching on the different weather conditions we've found? Because that's another big change that iRacing has brought in. Is that making a difference for drivers session to session?
Possibly. We'd only know after a few more races, I think. But yeah, I did notice there's a slightly higher temperature going on here in this particular session as opposed to my practice earlier. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's bound to, or given we can't change the tyres, to adjust for it. So yeah, it'll be an interesting difference.
Give yourself a bit of room, mate, and talk us through a lap.
Yeah, we'll do. So give Warren a bit of space in case he was on a flyer. That's cool. Let's get through the chase here and see how we get on. Come down to Murray's, I think it is here. It's easy to outbrake yourself with yeah, everything looks so open, but it sneaks up on you. It's a bit like Laguna Seca. Looks like a lot of space, but you easily run out of room. Very slippery on exit here when you try and get on the gas, and down into turn 1. Gonna be mayhem first lap into here. There's a fair amount of grip on the entry, but on the exit it falls away from you, so if anyone takes a dive down the inside at the start, there's not many places to go apart from a small gravel trap and a solid wall. So now we have a coffee up Mountain Straight here and into, I forget the name of this corner, turn 2. Got to really hug the inside of this corner as much as you can to carry as much speed. It's easy though, and that wall's greeting whoever wants to test it into the cutting. You're braking and turning through there, so you can get it wrong every now and then. It's very hairline stuff through there. Mind the bumpers. We all hear on the real life broadcasts, and hold on, because the iconic mountain pass up here is just, as we see from the guy in front, it is hazardous. So yeah, it's one of those things which can catch people out at the shortest notice. And so yeah, that didn't go as planned, unfortunately. But yeah, I guess we should have got a different practice session, I guess. But yeah.
Well, it looked good. Just push on with the outlet, mate. You might as well go on with it. Yeah, this corner's called Griffin's Bend, by the way, mate. So you remember?
Yeah, that's it. All I remember is just a big fire up at turn 2 here, and that's all I remember it for. So that's cool. But anyway, let's get back up to the top of the mountain here quickly, and we'll see if I can talk you around the rest of the lap. Incidentally, turn 2, it's very slippery on exit. It's quite bumpy, so you're trying to manage the wheel spin and try and get some good exit off of it as well. So can be another handful. It's just a handful all over this place, really, with the elevation changes. You know, you're always on a knife edge, as we said. So we're back up at the top here. So let's go keep a close line. That white wall's always greeting the next person, as we saw previously. Over McPhillamey Park, easy to run wider from McPhillamey because it's you know, you go over the crest and you lose all grip, and it's easy to lose a lot of time here. Make sure I get into the right gear for the dipper. A lot of people going off through there, running out of space and or grip or talent. And same into Forest Elbow here. Got to go dog slow, it seems like, but you need to have a good run off down Conrod Straight. My practice sessions, I did blow an engine as well, so we need to be careful we don't over rev the engines at the end of these long straights. But yeah, so where were we? Oh yes, the chase. Hold on. Hit the limited just as we get into the kink and try and pull it up. Just sort of made that. Hold on to the wheel spin through the exit here. And that's pretty much it. We'll see if we can get the braking marker right into Murray's. And that is, I guess, most of the lap of Bathurst.
Well done, mate. Notice in the background there, your teammate Lee Day didn't make it easy for you, spinning and crashing into the wall right behind you.
As I say, it takes a bit of getting used to when it's just the first week out for this track. So yeah, bit of fun in practice, but it's a brilliant track. It really rewards a really good, precise drive through the twisty bits. And yeah, whoever wins the race next tomorrow night is gonna earn it. Tell you what.
Well, we might let you go and get some more practice in. Only 11 minutes away from qualifying, mate. Good luck tonight and tomorrow night. We'll hopefully talk to you during the top 10 shootout.
Brilliant. Thanks, guys. Have a good call.
Thanks, mate. Good luck.
Tell you what's impressive. Sorry, Jay, go on.
Okay, mate. You go.
I was saying what's impressive is while we're watching that Madison down, it's just gone to the top. We've only got 10 odd minutes to go to qualifying. Madison has punched out a 5.443 to go to the top here in practice.
He said his best possible lap he could do would be a 4.8, so that would be absolutely unbelievable.
You got two guys currently in the fives, and I guess current champion Josh Mubbleton in P2 at the 5.9 also. So
the times are a little bit skewed at the moment because a few guys have just joined the session not long ago. Other guys have been in the session since the start. Noticeably, Richard Hampstead's just joined the session now. Been one of the fastest drivers here all week. But this fixed setup's going to be a totally different beast to what he's been used to driving. Best lap at the moment, I think, is a 6.0 he's done. So a little bit away from Madison. Yeah, but still a pretty good lap.
He's up there on the pace, but we've got a lot of cars out on track at the moment. Well, nearly 10 minutes left until qualifying begins, so everybody getting out there to get some final laps in before the all-important qualifying session, trying to make the run into the top 10 shootout. So as we saw in that that run-through lap from Scott Uren, traffic is going to be a big factor because if the guy in front of you gets it wrong, there's not really anywhere you can go.
Yeah, the big thing for these guys that are coming into qualifying, normally we only have 20 minutes, and at some tracks, and somewhere like here, you might only get 4 or 5 laps, but we do have an hour tonight, so there's going to be plenty of time.
I think guys are sort of try and pace themselves to not go too hard too early, get a couple of banking laps in, and then start to push. Even try and work out a group of cars that they can travel around with and know that they can get around with safely around them. So might see guys start to group together halfway through qualifying to make sure they get their laps in. But I'll tell you what, how fantastic is it actually having Bathurst, and how, you'd know, Corey, obviously living in Bathurst, and from walking the track and driving the track, it's looks millimetre perfect.
Yeah, it is good. I mean, that's what I've tried it on R Factor and GTR and a few other things, but just how accurate this track is just blowing me away. I'm glad I get to drive around it at more than 60 k's now, though.
I was lucky to even drive at 60 k's around there, mate. So doing well. We might throw to Simon Black, man who's put this all together. G'day, Simon.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
Good, thanks, mate. Now, congratulations on putting together a fantastic event, and really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, it should be a good one. I must say, it just wasn't me. It's there's a lot of people behind the scenes that helped put it together. From the guys at V8's Online to all of the help we had from the OSR admin team and everybody. So, yeah, lots of people put it together, not just me, but yeah, should be a great one tonight.
And of course, you've got the donate page up again, supporting the McGrath Foundation again. So remember, guys, you can donate. We've got a link at the top of the screen that you can see, donate.vanceonline.com.au. It will go to Simon's donate page for the McGrath Foundation. Make sure you get a couple of dollars out of your pocket and donate. Every cent counts. So
yep,
love you to donate.
Counts. Yep, they do a great job training and placing breast cancer nurses. Homes around Australia for people that really need it, so if even a little bit helps, so anyone that can donate, it'd be great.
Yep. Now, how are you going in your practice for the race tomorrow night, mate?
Yeah, just smooth and steady, because I haven't done a lot of laps because I had a lot to do, but yeah, just trying to keep it off the walls and be nice and smooth.
Easier than it sounds, keeping it off the walls, though.
Yep. Some very fast guys in there tonight.
Now, of course, there are some guys that are missing tonight that, fingers crossed, will make it tomorrow night. Could you tell us a couple of guys who we've got lined up?
We potentially might have a couple of the V8 supercar guys, Scott and Shane, but I don't like to put any pressure on them, but if they can make it, they're most welcome and on the driver's list. They've proved themselves well in the previous Race of Champions in iRacing, so we're happy to have them along.
Be good. Hopefully, fingers crossed, those guys can make it. Obviously, understand if they can't.
Yep.
Especially Shane having a pretty good weekend on the Gold Coast this weekend. He might be busy doing other things, obviously.
Might be going for a surf.
To test out the new surfboard.
Yep.
Now, with the top 10 shootout tonight, could you explain to the viewers how that will work for the guys?
After the open qualifying session that we'll have shortly, in about 5 minutes, there'll be about a 10 or 15 minute break, and then we'll have a new server that'll just be allowed for the admin and the guys that qualified in the top 10. And Mike Koroleff, running in the admin booth, will call the guys out one at a time, and once one guy starts his hot lap, we'll wait until he gets to somewhere between turn 2 and the cutting, and Mike will release the next car to do their out lap. And so that way there should be about a minute gap between the guys being on each of their laps. And yeah, they all have the track all to themselves, and hopefully they can put in a great lap.
It'll be fantastic. Can't wait to actually have a top 10 shootout. It will be absolutely amazing.
It definitely should be entertaining. Looks like there's going to be some fairly close times there in the top 10 as well, so it'd be interesting to see if it shuffles them around. I
think we were just saying before you jumped in here that We all think that qualifying, or sorry, the top 10 shootout, we'll see a few different names and faces in the top 10 shootout from what we would expect.
Yeah, I think so. There are a couple of guys that are new to the ROC that are in there tonight that have got a fair bit of speed, so it'll be interesting to see who does make the top 10. I'd say making the top 20 is going to be a fairly good task. Top 25 even for me, so yes. Be interesting to see.
Well, we might let you go and get some practice in, mate. Thanks heaps for putting it all together, I guess.
Oh,
And
very welcome.
we'll no doubt talk to you either during qualifying or during the shootout.
Not a problem.
Thanks,
guys.
mate. We're 4 minutes away, boys. You getting excited for this qualifying session?
Yeah, I can't wait. I've been looking at the times now, and if this was qualifying, this is what's impressed me, is we've had this track for not even a week, but right now, 10th place is a 2:06.7. So these guys are seriously quick around here for only having, 5 or so days practice now, so, and it's pretty tight around there, at the back end of the top 10, and some of the guys knocking on the door. It really could be anyone's game for that final few spots.
Yeah, there's some very small margins when you look through the field. At the moment, there's been 38 drivers that have set a lap in this practice session, so it's going to be a massive qualifying session to come. I can't wait. Let's get it started.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the qualifying day for Race of Champions 6. In a few minutes coming up here, we'll have the open qualifying session. It'll go for an hour. As always, I mean, you're a bunch of experienced guys, so you're pretty good at it, but if you have an off track or are making a bad lap, please make way for the guys that are on hot laps. It takes a couple of minutes to set one up, so be as respectful to each other as you can. Use your F3. Aside from that, after this qualifying session finishes, there'll be about a 10 or 15 minute break, and then there'll be another server, which is just for the top 10 guys to join. I put the TeamSpeak address to the Dynamic Sim Sports and V8 Online TeamSpeak on the forum page for the Race of Champions. After that, if all the guys that are in the top 10 could go and join their server, they'll have a nice quiet room for you to qualify in, or you can stay in your own room and then go over there afterwards, but it'd be nice if you go over there and so they could have a chat to you after your lap and add it to the commentary. Apart from that, good luck to everybody. Hope you had fun. And yeah, go fast.
We go race control, which we'll hear throughout qualifying and the race tomorrow night. So it'll be good fun hearing race control.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting with the possibility, being a hosted session, of course, having safety cars. So interesting to hear race control.
No possibilities of safety cars. There will be lap one.
Yeah, it's more than likely, but it'd be good to hear the race control throughout the race and add that little bit of extra info for the fans out there watching it out online.
Also, another factor that shows the different dynamics that this event is going to have, this qualifying session coming up, I think, is going to be run slightly differently to what we're used to seeing with those short 20-minute sprints where, as we said earlier, you might only get 3 or 4 flying laps. This one, the guys will actually have time to string together a couple of laps if they've got the tyres for it, instead of where if you mess up one corner in a normal session, it's just straight back into the pits because there's no point.
Yeah, with the length of the lap around here, though, I think if you manage to make a mistake relatively early, I haven't driven this car for a while now, but if it's anything like it used to be when I used to drive it, then you make that mistake, you're going to want to go back to the pits and get new tyres and less service to
disable the voice and typing comms during the qualifying session here in a minute.
Something a lot of drivers won't be used to in a qualifying session. Guys would normally talk to each other during a qualifying session to make sure that others are aware of the factor on hot laps. They won't have that tonight. They're getting that privilege taken away from them. So the guys will have to keep an eye on their mirrors and make sure that the guy behind them is or isn't on a hot lap when they're out on track.
I really think we need one of those headlight switches. I think that's really come in handy.
The 888 style, police style lights.
Yeah. I think that'd come in handy for some of the guys, and although you'd probably get some guys out there blazing around on an outlap, flicking them on just to try and get past.
That would be you, wouldn't it?
Oh, probably.
So we're only seconds away now. This session will end right on the checkered flag. We'll have about 5 seconds for guys to finish a lap, and then we're straight into qualifying.
Seen some blisteringly fast times already, but some common names up the top there. We've got Madison Down, Josh Muggleton, Richard Hampstead, Lee Day and Scott Uren rounding out the top 5, and it's going to be on from there. What do you think, guys? Excited?
Oh, I can't wait for this. This is going to be a fantastic session. Everyone's going to go all
Look at
out.
this.
Just look at this pit exit.
Straight away, just look at them all just trying scrambling to get out of pit lane. It all tightens up. It's quite wide there, then the walls come really close here, so they're all going to try and get single file.
That was, who's the first driver out? Who actually made it out first?
It's Matthew Barron, of course.
Oh, don't put the camera on him. That's all I'm going to say to our director. Do not put the camera on the guy in first.
Actually, maybe we could put the commentator's curse on him too. We should probably keep it
Oh,
on
yeah,
him.
yeah, to keep it on.
Like, he probably still like that.
He'll have it. Now, retro liveries tonight for the TTR guys. They decided to go old school, so they're all running retro liveries. They actually look pretty good.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping when I heard about the retro liveries we'd go back to some of the first TTR liveries, but it's still nice. It's hard to believe how long ago, I've seen this car out there on the track.
It's actually before we used to broadcast that car was on track, so pretty old.
Speaking of retro liveries, have a look at James Stevenson in the Castrol Falcon.
That's
About
nice
to say
looking
Castrol
car.
Commodore there, but that's a beautiful looking livery, isn't it?
Bit of a Larry Perkins inspired livery. Well, not inspired, it actually is, isn't it?
Yes.
There's no inspiration, that's totally it. Looks good.
Here's something to keep an eye on, just behind Stevenson. We have Madison Down, Josh Muggleton, David Butler, rather, Stephen Clark, all together knows how the teammates. Maybe a little bit of draft into play for these guys.
Isn't that a fantastic shot of those guys coming down the mountain for the first time?
Ian Ford, you're trying to make I think Sam had it again. Sorry, we get to qualify, the guy's already racing.
This is what we want to see. First driver's now on their flying lap, or just about to start. So it'll be Barron, Down, Stevenson, the 3 guys out in front.
Going forward with former champion Madison Down, not running car 1 anymore.
Well, he hasn't got the number 1 plate anymore, so although he does have the number 1 for Race of Champions, but I guess he's decided to give that one up. First time in a long time we won't have a car 1 in a session.
A lot of commitment up into the cutting.
Looks
Obviously
good.
wanting to put in a, yeah, it did. So it'll be interesting to follow the guys that are going to be wanting to be putting in a banker lap or going straight for glory early. Madison Down, obviously a very quick driver. He's going to want to make sure he's in the top 10 and hopefully get a lap in before traffic gets too much to handle.
I think the guys like Madison and Margot and Hampton, all those kind of guys, are going to go out there and just drag it for the whole session.
Oh, Barron's made a mistake.
They'll be there. They know they'll be in the top 10, and so I think they'll go out there and just push every single lap.
Going to be exciting to watch, isn't it?
Exciting to watch Madison work his way down the mountain there. A lot of wheel work.
Forest Elbow, that's just such a difficult corner. And then look at it just open up, down Conrod Straight. It's a beautiful sight, isn't it?
This is coming out to one of my favourite parts of the racetrack up here too. Into the chase, and if you get a shot later in the session, you'll see the car bouncing across the kink into the chase, and it's flat out. You do not lift.
Bouncing off the rev limiter there, and look how deep they go under brakes. Use a bit of the curb through the first part of the chase, short shift for the second part, the right-hander.
One corner to go now. It's been a pretty good first lap. Across the line for the first time. 2:05.6, so straight off the
wow.
pace.
Wow. He's going to continue it. He's going to go for another lap, is he?
He's staying into it, but that's seriously impressive. That lap time was good enough for P1 in the warm-up session, or the practice session we had earlier. So seriously quick from Madison down straight away.
Muggleton's put down a pretty good lap as well. with a 6-1. And for James Stevenson, Damien Butler. Matt Nethercote now moves up into 5th. It's down Muggleton, Ford, Emerson, Stevenson, Autridge, Nethercote, Butler, Osborne and Sullivan, the top 10 at the moment.
Top 7 guys already in the 6s, so some of those guys are going straight out there as I thought and put down a serious quick lap. And Emerson climb top of the mountain. A couple of cars ahead of me here though. It looks like we've got Dean O'Brien up energy now. Starts the run down the hill through the dipper, closing in on Dean. Gets out of the way.
That was actually close.
I'll pick up a bit of draft here from Matt Nethercote. Tries to get some and then basically just pulls over.
The gearing's playing a big role down Conlon Straight though. We hear the guys bouncing off the limiter before they've even turned into the chase.
I heard it just there. Right,
Yep.
moved over to the left, he's a little bit of extra apron, he was on the limiter. Like I said, you're flat out through the king, so you're actually on there for quite a long time.
And John Emerson used a lot of curb in that corner.
It's gonna get, it's pulling out.
Richard Hampstead, other guy has been very, very quick this week. First driver overall to get into the 205s.
I think he was being the quickest driver basically the whole week in practice, so followed very closely by Madison down. Nice bit of open track though right now.
Fantastic shot of the way that the cars move around on the bumps. Just get launched up on those curbs as well. You really see it, just how the cars move up and down. Great shot turning into Murray's corner here. Completing another lap.
Oh, 5.8
on his second lap as well.
Second lap. There we go. That shows that the first lap's not necessarily the quickest. Plus with a heavier fuel load as well. It's such a long lap. Tyres probably aren't going to be much different by the end of your lap as what they would be on the second. So
yeah, see with a time like that, that's
here he goes.
guaranteed.
Look at,
Oh, seriously close to his
Wow.
teammate. Right as targets wide over Mountain Straight as well. I was just gonna say what some of these guys might do that have already now, I think you have to say a 5 guaranteed top 10, is they might run around and burn that fuel down to maybe only having 2 or 3 laps of fuel, hit in for tyres only, and therefore go back out on track with a low fuel.
They have got the time to do that, don't they? That's an interesting strategy, Corey.
hadn't thought about that one, Corey.
I think those that are going to definitely make it in the 10 might do that, chuck some fresh tyres on at the end, low fuel, and go crazy.
Even Sam Clark on screen. A bit of a roughie for the top 10 tonight, I think.
Well, I was about to say that Corey's strategy there, that might be something you actually see from people that aren't expecting it into the 10. Maybe looking for that extra edge, so going to be very interesting to see if anybody is thinking on the same path as our fellow commentator here, because that's a very clever strategy you thought of, mate.
Got your ends now moved into the top 10, up to P4 with a 6.3. Bo Cubis also in the 10. This is Michael Fabian and Tony Autridge now.
Current cut-off for the top, the 10th is 6.9. Still a long way to go, so plenty of time for the drivers, but
It's so close from, say, P4 down to P11 at the moment. Just look at that. From 7th position on, you've got a 6.8, 6.8, 6.8, 6.9, 6.9. It's ridiculously tight.
Going to lead day.
Doesn't
He
look like
finds
he's been able
himself
to.
34.
Yeah, I don't think he's managed to complete a flyer at this stage.
His best lap is a 3:54, so he's only done an out lap. So he'll be looking to try and push himself into the top 10. Well, we would probably expect to be in the top 10 now. Last season we would have expected him in the top 10, but he's just come on so strong towards the end of that last season. Middle sector there for Lee Day looks really good time-wise, 30-second mark. So, fortunately, the sector split timing we have in iRacing is slightly different to what you see in real-life V8 supercars. So, Sector 1 starts from the finish line to just the approach to Sulman Park, just at the Fujitsu sign. And Sector 2 is just before Forest Elbow, coming into the last of the S's before Forest Elbow. Target times we're looking for is a very low 47 in the first sector, 30 in the second sector, and a 42 in the final sector.
Lee Day's aborted his lap. Just a lot of curb in the chase there, probably got an off track, and time to do it all over again.
We were talking before about Richard Hampstead, still going, still pushing on. So maybe he is doing what we were saying. Look, he's right up behind Madison Down.
Wonder if this is a bit of gamesmanship because he's pressuring the back of that Falcon harder than you'd expect in a qualifying session, but it's awesome fun to watch.
Both tap the brakes there, Down and Hampstead. So there's a bit of gamesmanship going on between these guys, no doubt. Oh! It's just rolled out of it, and Oliver's almost given him a tap behind.
Oh, and again, coming out of the chase. Look, actually might be a little bit annoying for Dave Oliver here.
All fighting for a bit of real estate, it seems.
On Hampstead, he's sliding around. How those
sliding
tyres, they've got a day's one out.
Actually, he must have pitted because that lap time didn't count on the actual timing monitor, so he has pitted and actually done that stop.
What if there was contact though? Would it count a lap time if you had an off track?
Good point.
Try and get an update for you to tell you if he did pit or not. The only problem with that idea of a late run is you then have to run around for the best part of 40 minutes and not hit the fence. So it's still quite challenging, but...
He's definitely been in the lane. Back to see him in the lane. Michael Fabian on screen starting a lap.
He was a driver that had some fantastic results at the end of last season. Great run at chaotic Watkins Glen race.
I think chaotic was an understatement for that one.
Right place, right time there too. Of course, had a good result at Summit Point as well. It's actually our driver to watch at Summit Point. Oh,
Big sideways moment out of Griffin Bend then.
Driver to watch right now, it seems too. But this is the thing with the size
out of it.
Yeah. I'm about to say though that with how long the lap is and how difficult it is to put together that perfect lap, I might see guys continue on more than what they usually would. But not in that case.
Ben O'Brien on screen now, currently P10. Best lap is 6.8. On his last lap, I think he might actually be on an out lap at the moment.
Yeah. Hold out of it, going to get out of the way at coming through the S's.
Just making room for Jared Fussell.
One of the guys to look out for by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, mentioned in that interview earlier.
Actually, when I was talking to Brooksy last week about them signing Jared, had a little bit of a look through his results. Only driver to win 3 times last week in the V8 Supercar. He won 3 from 3 last Monday night in his races, so definitely a driver to watch. He's going to come on very strong this season. We might not see him racing our broadcast splits this season, but season after that, watch out for him.
Yeah, keeps going the rate at that rate, we'll see him broadcast no time at all. He's currently sitting in 35th at the moment. It hasn't looked like he's been able to put together a full main lap. So, will be a driver to follow throughout the course of this qualifying session. Someone who doesn't normally get to race against some of these guys.
So you look now, 15 minutes in.
7-0. No lap time didn't count, sorry.
15 minutes into the session, the top few positions haven't really changed from Madison Downage to Hampstead. Josh Muggleton still needing punch out at 2:06. Oh, someone just jumped in there actually. I think it was Lee Day.
Get lead A up to P7.
Near 2:06.871. Actually, near 2:06.870 right now to make it into the top 10.
Go back to that beautiful Castrol livery, James Stevenson.
And it's a colour scheme that's done a lot of miles around this mountain, and he's currently sitting right on the bubble in P10 with a 2:06.871.
Also a livery that's done a lot of top 10 shootouts as well, so maybe it's a bit of an omen. Even if he has a bad first lap, he could still come through and win it.
There was a year once that a Castrol car came from last to first. I don't think we'd see that tomorrow night, but
I don't think so either, but anything can happen in Race of Champions.
You never know, right?
Oh, very aggressive on the curbs coming through. Got a question in the 42 drivers are qualifying at this moment. And we have had 34 put down a competitive lap time.
Just looking at James Stevenson, that was his 7th lap in a row.
Wow.
So it was 2:08.6, so it makes me wonder if he's going to be doing that strategy, staying out and doing a run later on lower fuel. Need to get about 14 laps, 13-14 laps to come in, get a fresh tyre and have another crack.
Yeah, even if you do one too many, you can always put in a couple of litres just to splash. Matthew Hill, Green. Team TTL, they signed up another driver in their squad for next season. Brad Ryan leaving Lazy Man Racing, joining Team TTL. So we'll see Brad out there in the famous TTL black, orange and whites this season. Hilly currently P14. Looking to get his way into the top 10. I know that he'll be trying his hardest to make that top 10 shootout.
It looks like he's struggling a little bit at the moment with the back end of the car.
.47.3 at the first checkpoint. Of course, talking about struggling with the rear, he can't adjust it. Just has to deal with how the car is.
Well, that's the downside of some of these guys using the fixed setup. Everyone likes their car a
Oh,
little
he's hit
bit
the wall.
different.
He's hit the wall. Skyline, he's made contact with the wall. Hopefully, going to continue on, but lap will be ruined if it actually has made decent contact. Actually heard his time too, 31.1 at the second sector.
Green's now down Conrod. Mark about 295 kilometres before banging the rev limiter down here.
Right on at 295. I still can't believe we're broadcasting from Bathurst, boys. This is something we've always dreamed about, isn't it?
206.8.
Lap time did count. Good lap from Hilly. That moves him to 12. Still not quite enough. But we've now got 14 drivers in the 206s.
I said you needed a 6.8 to get into the 10, and Ortridge has bumped the time now to a 206.835, so it's really, really tight there. We're about 7th or 8th down. A couple of guys in those high 6s. I think we've got, let's have a look now, we've got quite a few guys actually. The 6.8s, the 6.9s.
It's pretty congested from, say, Lee Day in P7 with a 206.7. You got Ortridge at 206.8, Stevens at 206.8, Hill 206.8, O'Brien at 206.898. He's only 2 1,000ths behind Hill. Nethercote at 206.9. So close in that section there.
Speaking about congestion, there's currently 35 drivers on track.
It's a busy racetrack out there at the moment. Finding that little bit of breathing space. How many drivers expected to take the grid tomorrow night? We're hoping for 50 drivers. The fingers crossed we'll have a field of 50 tomorrow night.
That'd be magic, wouldn't it?
Be amazing. There's been about 55 invites, 54 grid spots, so nice if we had 54, but 50 would be brilliant. Even the 43 we've got now turned up, 43 now in qualifying. 43 would be brilliant.
Well, I'm not a big fan of it. I was only having 28 cars, so to have a grid that big is going to be absolutely amazing.
Another driver who has changed, of course, announced that change halfway through the final round at Alton Park by Cerny, off to Powerbond Racing, and it bang into the fence. The hardest bit, normally at other tracks when you hit the fence, you just pull off to the side of the track and exit your lap, so you don't have to worry about cars behind you or anything, but here you have to continue on to try and get out of the way. It makes it really tough on the guys.
He had a big slide through Forest Hill though as well. But interesting to note, when Matthew Hill hit the wall there during his lap and was still able to improve, that's exactly what I was talking about earlier, about needing to push on. Because it's such a big lap, 23 corners in all, you can't just... It's going to be so hard to piece together a perfect lap. You just have to take what you can most of the time.
The team for these guys, by Cubis, part of the Race on Oz stable, signed on with Altitude Volvo in Brighton. The guys are very excited because they'll actually get, as part of their drive, they're going to get to drive some US 60 Volvos, which of course will be the V8 supercar for next season.
That's a pretty good deal.
I'll take that.
Those new
what do we get over here at V8s Online?
They look
We're lucky to get a coffee.
Yeah. Hey, I'll settle for a chicken parm any day of the week now, that Jay.
Oh, let's do it, mate.
Those new S60s, they're very nice cars. I managed to see one in the park at the Bath 1000. Very, very nice cars.
Well, Scott McLaughlin will be the main driver in that team. The second seat remains to be filled at GRM next season.
Although we do hope it's the Frenchman.
Oh. Cora's very biased about that. I must say I did have a very interesting conversation with Alex Premer and also Maro Engel at the 1000. It was rather funny. Probably not something we can talk about on air, but something to do about Maro's dancing while we were standing around some promo girls. So
that you mean Mario?
I will tell part of the story. The promo girls couldn't work out what Maro's name was, and they started calling him Mario. So Maro Engel is now known as Maro, Maro Engel is now known as Mario, according to those girls. But I won't divulge the rest of the conversation. Now here's the man we've been wanting to look at. V8's Online insider Reece Gardner on track in a car that he'll honestly admit that he absolutely hates.
Yeah, he's a smart cookie, that one. It's rather interesting to see him out there in a V8 though. He's a lot like me, we love our sports cars, we love our downforcing grips, so although he's having a blast, I mean anything around the mountain's fun. I think we spent the most of the week driving Mazda MX-5s around here, just having an absolute blast.
I think driving a billy cart around here would be fun.
I think next time you come up, we should do shopping carts down the mountain.
I don't know if I'd want it. Sounds fun, but at the same time it sounds horrible. Until you've actually been, if you've never been to Bathurst to have a drive around Mount Panorama, no matter what you do, even driving sim cars, just does not do the elevation changes justice. It's unbelievable. TV has never done it justice, and even driving the simulator doesn't do it justice.
It's about the closest thing you can get, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Not every day that you can do 295 Ks in your living room.
Lead
Good
Dave,
movement.
Good job.
Sorry, Corey. Go for it.
I was going to say lead Dave moved up into P4, now down to P5 though, 206.2, but Scott Uran, 206.1, jumped to P3.
I think that this top 10 really isn't set. We're going to see some names come and go over the course of this session. We're only 25 minutes in, so still a fair while to go, plenty to happen.
Almost halfway though.
I think give it another 10, 15 minutes, and it'll really start to heat up. And we'll really start to get an idea. I think other than the likes of Madison and Hansted, I think those guys are guaranteed top 10. The rest of them, I think it's still up for grabs.
Few guys that haven't put in a lap yet. James McKnight hasn't put in a lap. Stengen Deliak just joined the session. He'll be one that'll be pushing for the top 10 as well.
But as you mentioned, being nearly halfway through the session, you need to remember that's still a session and a half's worth of normal qualifying time that we've still got ahead of us here.
When it comes to round 6 in the V8 series, I don't think guys will be leaving it until the last lap, the last minute to do their qualifying. But big guys qualifying as much as they can for that week.
Oh yes.
I think actually the first time we'll see when a series here with the Prototype GT, a series we're now broadcasting, and that's going to be very, very interesting around Mount Panorama.
That's going to be brilliant, isn't it? And the driver we were just talking about, James McKnight, jumps up to P17 with a 2:07.16.
Got a bad bank lap. Interesting, the 38 guys now have done a lap. The slowest driver is Jared Philsell with a 10.1. Like, a 10.1 is still a fantastic lap time. These guys are going to be so close in this race. High field separated by about 5 seconds, 4.5 seconds, but around this track, that's absolutely nothing.
Bottom half of the top 10 from, say, 6th on down. Nothing in it at all. You've got less than half a second separating 6th all the way down to 14th by the looks of it, 14th, 15th.
Second separating 6th down to 20th.
It's amazing, isn't it? Very competitive field. It's exactly what you'd expect to see at Race of Champions.
Go to Wayne C. Burke. They're going to come into the pits. Won't worry about looking at Wayne Burke. Currently 19th, so probably expect him. He'll be one that'll be trying to get into that top 10. And Dean O'Brien on screen just gets ahead of Tobias Zerny, and look at the traffic behind him. Cars everywhere.
Dean's another one that's very close in the bubble, currently sitting in P13 with a 2:06.898. Now, to give you an idea of how close he is, at 2:06.3 get you into the top 10 right now. But that in itself will probably change as this session progresses, but it just shows you how ridiculously close the times are at the top.
Yeah, I think I'm going to put it out there and say the cut-off's going to be a 6.5 for the top 10.
Oh, O'Brien. Oh, just gets out of the way of Marty Atkins. Marty's life would have flashed before his eyes there. That's what I was just talking about before. When you hit the wall on a normal track, you just can pull off the track and get out of the way. But here you have to continue on a little bit, try and find a spot where you can get out of the way. Very, very tough. Atkins continued on. Sandman just behind him. He's also on an outlap. Looking to get a bit of pace in his outlap. Something a lot of guys might start to practice too is to try and do fast outlaps, because with pit stops tomorrow night, we're expecting 3 pit stops. Guys will have to be pretty quick on their outlaps.
Yeah, well, once you've got them fresh tyres on these, there's no time to sort of get them up to temperature and go for good laps. Just get out of your lane and smash it. A nice big straight to get a bit of temperature and all, but turn 2 is rather slippery, as Scott Uren said. actually. Looking at Sam, and he's doing quite a long run. His lap times seem to be all over the place though, but
he was caught up in the middle of all that traffic just before. Maybe just trying to find himself a spot on the road, which is critical to finding a good lap time here. Seems to have a bit of a gap now, so hopefully he's pushing on to try and move up through the field. Currently P25 at the moment.
and we are halfway through the session now, so half an hour remains.
Yes, with half the session now and half is still to go. Very good.
And of course, top 10 shootout after that, so all the guys are trying to do is get into that 10. Other names just joined to jump into qualifying. Chris Tarrant, so that's 45 drivers now joined in for this qualifying session.
Wait a sec, Chris Tarrant's actually going to drive something?
Oh, probably not.
Press to show everybody his shoes.
But so 45 drivers in the session, 38 drivers have currently set a lap time there. Sandman rolling out of that lap. But no doubt we'll be able to find somebody on to follow.
Josh Muggleton could be on a flying lap here. We'll stick with him for a little bit. Looks pretty committed.
He actually, he will have moved up his time just recently because we saw Lee Day had moved up into position 3 just before, and Muggo is currently taking the 3rd spot back. So currently at the top we've got Madison Down leading, Brenton Hampstead in position 2, Josh Muggleton who's on screen right now in 3rd. Got his hands full as we're talking. Then Lee Day 4th, Scott you're in position 5, John Emerson in 6th.
Oh, hit the wall.
Don't have a moment to talk at all, do we?
I like this in qualifying. What are we going to do tomorrow night?
Yes.
Oh, the curve to the S's.
That's ended the lap. He has to have cut that corner there.
Wow.
He's still going on though. That's pretty good second sector. A little bit off the pace. Gallo into Forest Elbow though. Oh! Almost hits that wall.
Probably one of the most exciting laps we've seen so far in this session.
Who cares if it doesn't count? Do something special here, Muggo.
Watch this car move around on the turn in. Over the bumps, all the curve.
An awesome shot, isn't it?
Big bounce off the curb. Come down under the armour.
Big slide.
Huge. Stayed on it, so this lap must be pretty good. He must be happy.
Hope he knows we're watching.
Across the line, it's a 5.9.
That was a-
5.992.
So he
Good lap.
didn't beat his best lap, but that was still very, very quick, considering how out of control it looked.
He obviously must have some time left in the back there, because if he was able to push on and still put together a 5.9, best at the moment was a 5.8. That was a pretty sloppy looking lap, so where do you think he's going to end up?
Madison Down coming into the chase with his teammate right behind him. Oh, they're out,
Crowding.
so
It's starting lap number 12 in this session for these, or for Madison.
Madison's still up top though, the 2056.
Interesting looking at the drivers, the number of laps the drivers have done. James Stevenson's done the most laps, 15 laps. Demian Clark 14 and Matthew Barron 13. The guys that have done the most laps in this session. Emerson and Fabian also done 13, as has Henry King. So, you guys starting to get the lap numbers up. I think that's what it's going to be all about. Is for tonight is actually getting laps completed.
I've got to say, I was just looking around then at the track, and it's kind of funny to see they've still got the 2-way and the 60km/h signs at random parts of the racetrack. Of course, it's a public road for those who never been here, and it's a 2-way street.
Butler in the wall.
Down also into the wall. He went into the wall through the cutting and Butler in the wall on the exit.
Alright, we might have lots of cars coming out at the moment.
Cuddy and Ford, who looks like he's on a flying lap. Currently sits in 9th position, so that's about where he wants to be. He just wants to make sure he's in that top 10. But guys, very, very close behind him. His best lap is a 2:06.5. A little bit of a gap back to Aldridge next. So that cutoff for 10th is actually very, very close.
Oh, big slide.
He's going to keep going. Not a bad first sector.
All the road here, very committed lap.
Oh. Wide race. Coming through the S's down through the dipper. Looks alright here. Oh, sideways in the exit.
Just a bit of a squirm there on the exit. He comes into Forest Elbow. Takes a very shallow run. Right into the wall!
Whoa.
He's hit it.
That's end of the lap. Joe Philsell's done a pretty good lap. Gained 3 seconds on his previous best into the 2:07s now. 2:07.1 puts him in 19th position. Mullen hit the wall on an outlap. That's not a good sign. Carwin May. We'll get to get his car painted. We better talk to the boys about that.
Yeah, mate, another one of the outside that McGrath Falcons just pulling off the exit and cutting.
Dale Niche. Also on an outlap, so we won't worry about Dale Niche at the moment. Bernie on screen, nice and sideways at the exit of the Griffin's Bend.
He's been slowly working his way up the timesheets. Currently P17, moving all over the road.
So it doesn't seem to be working for him at the moment too well.
Could be a bit of a distraction there with Keegan hitting the wall just ahead of him and just gets out of the way. Oh, Philippi, look at how sideways he is.
He just turned that into big Philippi then.
He only just held on there.
Lots of curve through the S's. Fantastic shot then into the dipper. Look at it sliding wide.
A little bit off the pace in the second sector, but still not a bad time at the moment.
It's going to start to get interesting now too. We're coming up to the 20 minutes to go mark. That's a normal qualifying session, so not many more laps for these guys to do.
40 minutes has gone very quick, boys.
Oh, there's been plenty to talk about, hasn't there?
Well, we knew that Bathurst was always going to excite.
I just love this shot into the chase, the way the cars move around.
Tobias has earned his best lap for tonight so far, a 2:07.1. Coming out to Murray's. This is his 12th attempt, or 12th lap. Across the line, 9.2. Long way off the pace. We'll continue on by the look, so we might be starting to do some race pace laps. Stone on screen, currently P20 on a flying lap at the moment.
Oh, big understeer.
Wow.
That thing
Almost
was
takes
not
out
turning.
Muggleton as well.
That car did not turn at all at Forest Elbow.
Right.
You only need to go in there just a tiny bit too hot and just straight into the wall you go, isn't it?
Go through the-
right, so
Go for it,
20
Leo.
minutes
Do it.
left. Finally, let's see if we can get through this. 20 minutes left in this session. Your top 10 as it sits at the moment. Down, Hampstead, Muggleton, those three very strong at the top. Down's just done a new personal best with a 2:05.5, so he's blisteringly quick at the moment. Lee Day currently sits 4th. Scotty Uran, who gave us that beautiful lap at the track earlier, in 5th, followed by Emerson, Fabian, Bo Cuvis, Ian Ford, and Tony Ortridge rounding out your top 10. Now that top 10 cutoff has moved forward a little bit. Ortridge moved up to a 2:06.6, so the guys in Champions have got a bit of work to do.
I'm only a tenth off my prediction on that one. So I think a 6.5 will get you in guaranteed.
McKnight with a 6.8, Stevenson with a 6.8 as well. 6.870 for McKnight, 6.871 for Stevenson. 1/1000 between McKnight and Stevenson in 11th and 12th. Hill with a 9.68, O'Brien with a 9.6. An 8.96 and an 8.98 for O'Brien. Those guys, 11th through 14th, separated by, 28 100ths of a second? Sorry, 28 1,000ths of a second, I should say. They all need 2/10ths though.
Oh, lead day.
Wow.
That was seriously committed there out of turn 2. And he's into the cut. Look at the way the back of the car disconnected from the road there.
Nothing to lose now. He's already put down a time that pretty much will guarantee him in the top 10 shootout. That's a very quick first sector.
Oh! Wow!
He is into it at the moment.
Someone's just run off the road just there, coming up the skyline.
I love the way that the car's sitting on the curb through the S's there.
Yep. Looks brilliant.
Oh, there's smoke up
Another
ahead.
car crashed just ahead. Oh, he's made contact.
Into the fence, hard blown the motor.
Unlucky. That was looking very, very good there for Lee Day.
Who was that? There was someone sitting in the middle of the
Car
road there.
15 and Ford.
It was parked smack bang in the middle of the road. Nothing he could do, obviously. He had a spin and was trying to press escape to get out of the way.
Couldn't quite get out of the way quick enough. Unlucky for Day. The second he made contact, he was gone too, so very unfortunate. Michael Fabian now on screen. Looks like he may be on an outlap though. Currently P7 though, so he's doing a very good job up in the top 10 at the moment. Good to see a few different names in this top 10 at the moment too. Top 6, we'd probably already have written them in pen in the top 10 shootout, but the next 4 guys are sort of really up in the air who we'd expect in the top 10 shootout. He's probably another guy that we may have had penciled in there, but probably struggling a little bit from what he'd be happy with as well.
Yeah, Marlon only done a 2:07.8 this session. Oh, sorry, my bad, 2:07.4.
Oh,
he just hit the fence too, so a little bit off the pace, I think, from where he'd like to be at the moment.
I'm sure he'd like to be in the 6s.
Oh,
You can find. Whoa!
Wow.
Around he
That's
goes.
no one's coming, so he can get off the road time.
Just didn't seem comfortable in the car. You could hear him having a couple of stabs at the throttle through McPhillamy.
Dave Oliver on screen now. About to start a flying lap. Best lap for the week. We used to say in the week during qualifying. Best lap of tonight is a 2:07.461. Currently in P24. If you can find half a second, that'll jump him up 10 spots. 15th. If you can find half a second. Sounds easy.
Oh, interesting to note, his fastest lap was 4 laps in to a run he did earlier in the session.
Oh, he's made contact with the inside wall. Coming in to the cutting.
Have a look, Chris Tarrant's actually out on track. Something we haven't seen in quite a while.
Someone must be driving on his computer. Wouldn't be Chris Tarrant.
Oh, he's hit the fence actually.
Nah, maybe it is Chris.
It looks like he's just struggling at the moment.
Oh, looks fairly normal for Chris. I know I'll be watching this later, so I'll still say it.
Currently on screen
Sanjin.
is Sanjin. He's getting very loose over the top there.
Name you're going to expect to see quite a lot of in the next season in the top split. Monday night broadcasts. Whoa.
Oh,
That's not
ugly
going to help.
hit.
We get out off the track quickly. Does. And Gavin Sadler.
2.89. He's fast like so far. So
Might be doing some race simulation at the moment. It's doing a couple of laps back to back. 8, 9 and 9 flat in the last 2 laps, so pretty good times, nice and consistent, which is probably more important being consistent than being overly quick. Another name we haven't seen in a V8 supercar for a long time, who was raced every single week in V8 supercar a while ago and haven't seen him on track for a long time, George Fullerton. Seeing him out on track.
yeah, it's he sort of started to stop not long after we used to broadcast from memory, but he was one of the guys that was there when we when the Fiat's Monday night racing first started.
Yep. Because he used to drive that very, very nice Moffat 77 livery. Got a Richard Hampstead starting a lap, currently P2 at the moment. Doesn't matter a huge amount hitting that spot from Madison down. He's about a 10th away, but these two guys, they have a pretty good rivalry, so pretty sure the gamesmanship there in trying to beat each other out already.
We also might see some of those guys putting in some shootout practice, just going out for the one-lappers.
They've only got about 13 minutes to go now, so that might be a pretty smart option actually. A lot of pressure in one of those. I've done a couple back on the R-Factor. The R-Factor days, it's stuffed up quite fuel actually too. A lot of pressure in the top 10 shootout. I think it's that one lap.
We can safely say that someone like Richard Hampstead is going to be locked into that position, but it might be a good opportunity for him to get those practice laps in.
We were talking about
Gonna run into
being
traffic,
locked in
though.
before, so James Stevenson has just pulled out a 206.6. He is now at 14 1,000ths behind the top 10. So Stevenson's not far away from kicking Tony Autridge out, taking that 10th spot. It's going to be very close between those guys on who will get it.
He's done 21 laps in
Oh,
this session as
Hampstead!
well. Oh, Hampstead! Wow,
Even
he's...
though that's lap done. If he's doing shootout simulation, he won't want to do that and make contact with Tobias. Unlucky. Josh Muggleton about to start a flying lap. I haven't talked a lot about Muggo tonight. Of course, reigning V8 Supercar champion. Thought we would have seen the number 1 on his car.
Well, we'll definitely see it in qualifying sessions next season.
Got to be a good feeling for Muggleton, hasn't it, being the newly crowned champion in the first ever iRacing broadcast race at Bathurst.
Wonder how many guys we get here in week 6 will go for the one race score and then say, oh no, it means more than the championship like we see in real life. Doesn't matter, one Bathurst, don't need the championship. I'm sure that'll be
Probably everyone that's not competing for the championship will say that.
I think if Madison now would have won here last season, it would have been like, oh, who cares? We had the championship. I want Bathurst. That's all that matters, and it's gonna be great. We want to get here for the official series.
Not
Gonna
far
be
away.
an intense fight for those green lights.
Round 1 next Monday night from Okayama, a track we haven't raced at for a long, long time as well.
And a beautiful track at that.
Oh, Margo! Oh, has held it. Wow, big moment.
Those are some uncharacteristic mistakes that we've seen now from Muggleton and Hampstead, so I'd go as far to say they probably are doing some shootout practice. Maybe try and iron out those bugs before the actual lap.
Henry King, currently P30 with an 8.0. Remember, guys, you can donate to the McGrath Foundation, of course, our charity at V8's OSR Race Champions. Head to donate.v8'sonline.com.au. Donate a couple of dollars, whatever you can spare. It all goes to a very, very good cause. McGrath Foundation, fantastic charity. So, stick your hand in your pocket and give a couple of dollars to the McGrath Foundation. You never know when you might need their help.
Got about 8.5 minutes session to go.
Looking like a tidy lap from Henry King at the moment.
Just look pretty good. Nice and smooth.
Gonna get a good run out of here.
It looked like he turned into the elbow quite well, which is something we haven't seen from all of the drivers. It's a very difficult part of the racetrack to get right.
Another place on the track that was said TV does not do it justice. It's a really, really tough corner.
Let's see how committed he is into the chase.
Very.
Flat. He's the curve,
yes.
so he's into it.
A nice bit of curb through that first part. Not too much, but just enough to help hook the car around that left-hander. Into the braking zone for Murray's.
Good lap.
Keeps it nice and tidy on exit.
Improves. PB 7.7. Good lap from Henry King. Lap time did not count.
I was about to say, it's not
that's
much nicer in here, so
Yep.
I think
Make
he might hit
contact with the wall. Or
somewhere.
run
Now,
off the track somewhere. Unlucky.
Speaking of that McGrath Foundation, also a good time to touch on Simon Black, who actually had a personal best on the lap prior. Apparently moved him to a 208.260, which will put him 33rd on the grid at the moment.
Whoa! Sorry, Madison Downs just had a massive moment over the top coming through Reed Park. Got it loose at Silverman Park, clipped the wall, and it's sideways.
Yeah, I
Have
think
a look at
these
the
guys
race recall
here,
replay.
I think these guys here are doing shootout runs.
Oh, I've
Have
got
to
no
be.
doubt now. After seeing that there from down,
wow.
that was massive.
Race recall replay says it all. Just a big, big slide, and there's no recovery from that. Guys, there's 42 cars on the track right now, and only 6 minutes left in the session. I think this is going to get exciting.
Hard enough to find a bit of real estate with 28 cars on the track you notice in real life. 42 cars on track, it's going to be mayhem. Michael Manley on screen, Redback Racing Team. One of the newer teams in Australian sim racing.
And I got a big shout out to, I think it's Bernie from that team. He's done a good job. He's a big supporter of V8's always tries to run in the series we broadcast and always posting stuff on Facebook about it. So to see those guys being big supporters of V8's.
Five minutes to go now, not long. There's a few guys have given up, going and having a bit of a rest before the top 10 shootout, which isn't far away. At the moment, the top 10 is down. Hampstead, Muggleton, Day, Uren, Cubis, Emerson, Fabian, Ford and Partridge. James Stevenson, James McKnight, Matthew Hill and Dean O'Brien, I think, are the guys to watch in this next little bit.
Yeah,
have the most to gain. They're in the cutoff.
Cut-off time is at 2:06.664.
Right on screen, he's just aborted a lap. Maybe on an out. No, he's aborted. Matthew Hill's about to start a flying lap. And Dean O'Brien is on a flying lap. As we just had another movement. Jared Philsells just moved up to P14. We were told he was one to watch.
Wow, that's an impressive run by
exactly
a guy
the
that
same
you could...
time as Matthew Hill.
Yeah. Wow. That's such an impressive run by someone that you could probably consider and call a rookie to this Fiat Supercar broadcast race. I don't think he's had the opportunity to race against some of these guys in such an intense competition, but P14, that's such an impressive look for someone so new to this sport.
Look at Matthew Hill. Matthew Hill starts his lap and he comes out with a lot of traffic ahead of him. He's trying to get rid of draft there from Vic Solomon. Pulls out now. Look at that up the head. We've got 4 or 5 cars there, all on a train. Oh, he's run wide. That'll be lap over.
Just watch see if we can go to Dean O'Brien though. He's on a very, very good lap.
Got a bit of traffic coming down Conrod. With just over 3.5 minutes remaining in the session, I think that the guys we're going to have to keep an eye on are James Stevenson, James McKnight, Matthew Hill, Jared Frizzell and Dean O'Brien. Those guys are right on the cusp, barely a tenth in it.
Yeah,
O'Brien is all the
chase.
curb.
He needs to find about 0.3 of a second. He is on it at the moment. Good run out of the chase there. And he won't have any traffic in the last corner, so clean run to the line. Like I said, he's won about 0.3. He's looking for a 6.664. Comes to the start, finish line,
Got
can
it.
he do it?
He's got it.
6.555 into the 10.
Moves
With
into
So that
10.
pushes Tony Ortridge out.
3 minutes to go. He's jumped into the 10.
We go to Tony Ortridge, who's on a flyer. He'd know that now. His teammates will be telling him 3 minutes to go.
I said that the cut-off would be a 6.5 to get the 10. I'm not so sure about that now. 3 minutes to go. I
don't think it's a guarantee anymore,
Ortridge is
Corey.
done.
He's going to have time for one more lap.
Stevenson's just starting a lap. McKnight's about to start a lap. Philsells just coming out of the lane to start a lap. Chris Stone as well is another one we need to watch. He actually is just aborting a lap.
All right. Guys currently
No, he's
have
gonna go
2
out lap,
minutes,
sorry.
25 seconds left in the session, so you're going to have time for...
McKnight,
One out
sorry,
lap.
Stevenson. Very, very wide through Griffins. He hasn't got time to go back to the pits and start again. He's going to have to push on.
That's it. They've got time for 1 out lap, 1 flyer. That's it.
Stevenson might have to
he
slow
has to
down.
have
No,
that
he's
damage.
done.
In
He's
the
done.
fence.
Won't make the top 10.
James Stevenson will start.
McKnight is all crossed up through Griffins. That's him done. Ortridge and Hill are the two we need to watch now. Hill's about to start a lap. He's just coming in through the chase. Ortridge is on his lap. Now he's on an out lap as well.
Matthew Hill now coming under the Armroll Bridge, looking to start his lap. Bit of a traffic jam up behind him. So we've got about 1.5 minutes to go.
Whoa! No!
He's
No!
done!
Matthew
He will not
Burnett.
make the top 10. Tell you what, he'll be fuming at the moment. Matthew Hill's up there. Might have been on a hot lap. Yeah, broke himself into the final corner.
Not sure who that was.
I think from there, without looking briefly, it was Matthew Burnett. I think that Hill might have been trying to set himself up for a good run out of the corner for a flyer, and Burnett was on a hot one by the looks of it. Just locked the rears and into the back of Matthew Hill. So unfortunate, but just one of those things. Now Tony Ortridge going into the chase here. Only 50 seconds left in the session, so he might get around for one more lap after this one.
Oh!
He'll
Wow.
make it around for a lap. He's got his teammate up ahead of him, and then there's only a couple of guys ahead of them. So Tony Orchard looking to get that spot back in the 10 now.
Matt Nethercoat's moved up to P13 with a 6-7.
And that's him for the session. He's in the pits now.
Yep.
James McKnight being the only other one who looks like he's in a position to move up. He's going to round Murray's for the final time and get one more lap in. 20
Jared-
seconds left on the clock.
Jared Philsells another one that we might have to keep an eye on here. On his
He's
flying lap as
now,
well.
is he? Okay,
Yep.
we'll keep an eye on him.
There's a bit of traffic up ahead though. It's got Dylan Shepherd and Twice 30 who's actually almost into the first of the cutting. close inside wall to cutting.
Checkered
All right.
flag is out. Stone has made it around for another lap as well. So we've got a couple of guys we need to watch.
Now Philzel got very sideways there, so it'll be interesting to follow his time.
Tony Autridge about to cross the first sector checkpoint. Not too bad.
He doesn't need much. Only 1/10 of a second there.
Knight's make contact with the wall. And he's a long way off the
Autridge!
pace.
Autridge just binned it.
That's it. Tony went back to top 10 either. Lost it just up
That
before
was
the
a
film me
massive
there.
hit.
Tell you what, keep our eye on Phil Cell though. He's on, he's just clipped the wall at the exit of Forest Elbow.
Keeping into it
Wow.
though.
He's staying on it.
I think this might be one of the last guys that can jump into that 10.
It's been a sensational run by the rookie up to this point anyway, so regardless of the result, it's been such an impressive run.
Yeah, I think that regardless of where he qualifies, he's got to be happy with it. Again, some of these guys that have been doing this for 2 or 3 years now, it's seriously impressive.
Yeah, this is going to be an exciting name to watch for the future. Down braking for Murray's corner for the final time.
Good run there, didn't hit the curve too hard. Sideways on the line though.
Doesn't
Yeah.
improve.
Hey, whilst all that was happening, someone who did improve, Madison down. Check out that time. That's a
5:3. Great lap. And Richard Hampstead's actually on a very good lap
Yeah,
at the moment as well.
Hampstead now into the final corner, he's on it.
Middle sector there, that's the quickest we've seen.
So Hampstead to the line.
Oh, another 5-6.
Actually, that didn't count, so he's had a
That
moment
didn't
somewhere.
count, no.
But that, who got left on track? John Emerson now.
John Emerson.
Coming
That's a
into the
good lap
last corner.
too. At the moment, his best lap is 6-3. In 7th, we've hardly talked about him.
He's been a quiet achiever this session.
Oh, nearly an
6-4.
improvement. Good lap.
Very close. Just a few
Tarrant.
cars.
Yeah, Chris Tarrant, the last
Actually-
driver to finish. And
That's my old car, right there.
that is your old car, Corey. You used
Wonder
to
if it-
drive that one.
Wonder if it still needs a wheel alignment.
I think that's why he's driving it.
I
You couldn't find any other cars.
And Tarrant into the pits, of course. That's the session complete, guys. That was awesome.
Best 60
Wow.
minutes I think I've ever commentated.
Go through the qualifying results at the moment. Of course, the top 10 is not final at this stage, but top 10 shootout will feature Madison Down, Richard Hampstead, Josh Muggleton, Lee Day, Scott Uran, Bo Cubis, John Emerson, Michael Fabian, Ann Ford, and Dean O'Brien. Following positions are final: Tony Autridge from 11th, James Stevenson in 12th, Matt Nethercote 13th, James McKnight 14th, Matthew Hill 15th, Jared Philsell 16th, Chris Stone 17th, Damien Butler, Tobias Zerny, and Marty Atkins round out the 20. Over the page, Wayne C. Burke, Matthew Barron, Richard Hunter, Marlon McMullen, Dave Oliver, Corey Osborne, Guy Leach, Dale Nish, Stephen Clark, Henry King, Bit Solomon, Carwin May, Simon Black, Matthew Burnett, Reese Gardner, Paul Keegan, George Fullerton, Sanjan Delyak, Michael Manley, Gavin Sadler, Dylan Shepherd, Chris Tarrant, Andrew Wallace, David Mutton, Mike Koroloff, and Warren Peed. 46 drivers we had in that session.
That was a monster session, wasn't it? That was amazing.
Unbelievable. Don't go anywhere, guys, because we will have our top 10
We're
shootout
about to, yeah,
very
this-
soon. It's going to heat up.
This next session, I'm going to put it out there, will have to be one of the best sessions we will ever commentate and broadcast, in my opinion. Top 10 is just so special, and at this place, it's even more so.
Yeah, cannot wait. It's going to be amazing. Remember, guys, to jump into your pockets, get a little bit of money out, go to donate.v8online.com.au, jump on and donate a couple of dollars to the McGrath Foundation. Very, very good cause. Not far away from going to the top 10 shootout, but I think we might have a couple of minutes break before we get there. So we will take a break. We'll be back in around about 7 or 8 minutes' time. You're watching V8 Online's live coverage of Racer Champion 6 presented by Oceanic Sim Racing, supporting the McGrath Foundation.
To it and watching my lap. I clipped the wall coming out of Forest Elbow, ended up losing.
It's a place where heroes are born and legends are created. Many will come to conquer it, but only one will tame it. This one person will be our champion. Their time is now. The mountain is calling. It's a place where heroes are born and legends are created. Many will come to conquer it, but only one will tame it. This one person will be our champion. Their time is now. The mountain is calling.
Welcome back to V8s Online's live coverage of Race of Champions 6, presented by Oceanic Sim Racing, supporting the McGrath Foundation. Jay Kennedy in the host chair. Alongside me, I've got Corey Slade, Leo Gray, and Stephen Sandman Clark as well. G'day, guys.
G'day.
Hey there, everyone.
G'day, Jay. G'day, everyone. And it's good to be back. I guarantee this will be the best session I think we'll broadcast for a very long time.
Yeah, we couldn't not broadcast this session without Sandman. Of course, drove around in that qualifying session, and we could not get you back up in the chair, mate.
Yeah, you used the right words there too. I drove around. Pace wasn't all that great, but a hell of a lot of fun.
So we're just waiting to get pictures through, and then we'll be right to start the top 10 shootout. Won't be far away. Dean O'Brien will be the first driver out.
That was easily one of the most exciting things that we've ever looked at here at part of V8s Online. Such an exciting session to watch and follow. Sandman, you were in the thick of it yourself, but it was awesome from up here.
Mate, sensational. We're very lucky here at iRacing and V8s Online to be part of this. To have Bathurst as part of our racing now is just sensational. The track is just... I've never raced there, but it just feels spot on, so... really excited about the event today and especially tomorrow. The big one should be sensational.
Did you work on a bit of strategy during that as well? We were mentioning that some guys might be dropping their fuel to try and do a lap to make the top 10.
Yes, my overall pace wasn't all that great. I don't spend too much time in these cars, not as much as I'd like. So that was the strategy, to go out, burn off as much fuel as I could, and then have a red hot go. But I did that. Once I got the fuel down, I made a bit of a mistake coming into Griffiths Bend and stuck it in the fence. So that killed that strategy and had to run with the full tank. But never mind.
We're just about to have our first driver come out to start their lap, which will be Dean O'Brien, qualified 10th position. Here he goes.
Wait for race control to give us the all clear.
Right to go. Just waiting for race control to give him the confirmation that we are right to go.
Isn't this exciting? Get that one car sitting in pit lane, just waiting to go out there for the top 10
I've never been so excited to see a car just sit there.
Here we go.
The best bit is the nerves that these guys, they'd be nervous as anything, because I know when you're just on a red hot go around this place, just trying to hit your marks in a 1 hour session, you get nervous, but these guys only get one crack at it, and it's a real deal, so the nerves are building for sure.
This is definitely going to be one of the most intense things that these drivers have ever done. Dean O'Brien, when we look at his career for us for these broadcast races, he's actually made 10 starts in the top split broadcast races. Best starting position was a 3rd place earlier last season at Laguna Seca, and then a best finish of 3rd at Oran Park. So this is going to be a big thing for Dean, making it into the shootout for our first ever event here.
I think that'd be one of the quickest podiums we've ever seen to transform. Only been racing, hasn't been like top split racing for very long. Already to get a podium, very unheard of in this series. It normally takes guys forever to do it.
The impressive thing too, looking at those starts, just 10 starts in the top split, but 5 top 10s. So that's a 50% success rate for a top 10. The other thing too, being the first man out on track, being the man in 10th position, he can only go up, can't he?
Yeah, that's right. Can only move one direction from here.
Alright, so he comes down Conrad now. Starting to give a little bit of stick and warm those tyres up.
Dean's probably the one driver that he'll give it everything he's got, because he's got 0 to lose. The worst, he's already made it in 10th position, so anything's an improvement. He's got absolutely everything for everything, mate.
Here we go, 1 corner to go. First driver out. Mount Panorama top 10 shootout for race champion 6.
Nice and stable under brakes into hell.
Good run up Mount Straight too.
Yeah, all the road, just a nice little bit of curb on entry and exit. So very tidy at the moment, Dean O'Brien.
It's amazing just how much time can be won or lost just out of hell turn. But it's just you just run that little bit wide and just touch the ripple strip and upset the car. You can lose that momentum all the way down the straight. But so far so good. Looks fairly tidy.
Been a nice clean lap, and you know what? That's probably what he needs to do. Don't worry about going out there trying to get pole, because I think 2 of these guys might make a few mistakes and you might be able to pick up a few spots.
Yeah, the important thing is to make sure that you do set a time.
Good first sector. Ooh.
A bit wide there. You can already tell it's a little bit more conservative than what we saw in qualifying.
I think that he's still doing 180 across the top. Still pretty quick. The cuttings look very smooth. A little bit wide.
Whoa.
He's kept it. He's held onto it.
He's held onto it. He would have scrubbed off a fair bit of time there, but
Yeah,
the main
lost
thing
about
is
a
he kept it
second.
off the wall.
Lost about a second, but that's okay. If he can get a 209, that could be enough to bump him right up to 6th.
Hard work's done. Couple corners right now.
Still doesn't mean it's easy from here. The chase is a monster effort. Here how long he's on the limiter for. Deep under brakes we go. Take a bit of curb on the left, then on the right, short shift, and the run down to Murray's corner.
Apart from the dipper, it's been a pretty good clean lap here. What he needs to do, just get a time down.
Set a benchmark for the rest of them, and he's going to cross the line for a
Chris.
2:07.6.
Yeah, good lap. Good
Very
solid
good
lap.
Yeah, not bad considering you take into consideration his little whoopsie there, but fairly happy with that, I think, considering his mistake.
Might talk to him, Dean. Good lap, mate. Good bank time.
Yeah, I made a bit of a mistake coming up into the dipper, but apart from that, you know, I was pretty happy with it, I guess.
How's it feel to actually do a shootout lap at Mount Panorama, mate?
Probably the most nerve-wracking thing I've done on this game yet.
You love it, though. Did you love it, though?
Yeah, of course.
Well done, mate.
I'd love to have another go around anyway.
Well done, mate. Good drive, and we'll talk to you tomorrow night.
Cheers.
Well done, Dean. Currently, man on screen right now, Ian Ford coming around Murray's corner to begin his lap. Ian's another driver who doesn't have a whole lot of experience in our broadcast races. Only made 6 starts so far, and his best starting position to this date is a 10th place at Oran Park, which was also the place of his best finish, which was a 6th.
Another man that's going to hit a personal best.
Got a good run out of turn 1 there.
Moving around under brakes.
Oh, he's a little
Just
bit
a little
wide.
Yeah, just a little bit off the ideal racing line there.
Wow.
Almost caught the wall on the exit.
You can definitely see how Ford is pushing compared to how Dean O'Brien was running before. This is going to be an interesting thing to follow through the session, is just how hard a driver is prepared to push on. But still plenty to play for.
He's a little bit more conservative across the top, but any good lap so far. The thing to remember is for those guys out there watching, if you hit one of these walls or there's a little bit sideways to the S's, clean on the dipper though. Hit one of those walls or go off the track, you do lose your lap time. So these guys need to do a very, very solid lap, nice and clean.
That's right, it's imperative that they put together a tidy lap, because if it doesn't count, you're going to be starting at the bottom of the top 10. But that's also probably the best thing about this format, is that you can just go for gold, because you know, even if you do bin it, you're still guaranteed a starting spot at the front of the field.
Oh, on the limiter for ages. Two-wheel action up into the chase.
A good run out of the chase too. One corner to go now. It's been a pretty good lap. A little bit scruffy at the start.
Oh! He's thrown it away!
Get over the line for two.
That's exactly what we were talking about. Regardless whether you make a little whoopsie at the start of your lap, you've really got to get on with it, because you just never know what's going to happen with the rest of the guys in the field.
That is the important thing, that he did continue on to set a time, because if there is anybody that does put it into the wall or have a time denied, Ford is going to move ahead of those in the starting lineup.
Quickly talk to Ian now. Unlucky end to that lap, mate. Looked good until the end.
Yeah, just trying to pick up the extra few tenths in the last corner and just went around.
Happy with that lap at the end? Would have been pretty good other than that?
Not really.
Okay.
It was about a second off where I wanted to be.
First experience in a top 10 shootout, mate. Did you love it?
Yep, loved it. The wind's a bit tricky over the top though.
Yeah, just noticed the wind's a bit stronger than before. We'll get back to you later on, mate. Well done.
Thank you.
Baby now coming to start his lap.
Michael Fabian, pretty solid name in our championship now. 40 starts in the broadcast series. A couple of seconds last season. Still waiting to get that breakthrough win, but I don't think it will be too far away.
Michael Fabian has also had a pole position before, so he has tasted a front row start. That was at Oran Park back in 2012 season 4.
The New Year's Eve race, not a lot of drivers did that one, but he was there and it does count in the stats. 2 second positions last season and a third in that race at Oran Park, so I'm pretty sure we'll see him pick up a win in the next couple of seasons. Very confident of that. Good first sector!
Wow.
Sideways.
Just about to say, before he did that, the first part of the lap's looking really good. You said he was fastest in the sectors, in the first sector so far, so he's really having a red hot go.
Yeah, Michael Fabian, definitely a driver that has been on the pace lately. He's also one of the guys that we can expect to see running at the front of the field
He's
throughout
carrying
next
a bit
season.
of speed. Sorry, mate, I thought he was running real deep in there, but he did a good job pulling it up.
It's such a fine line between...
Oh,
Yeah. It's such a fine line, it's hard to tell what's a solid lap and what's seconds from disaster, really.
You know, the one part of the racetrack where these guys get to relax for a little bit, hold their breath. If they turn right, bounce off the rev limiter, hard on the brakes, gets it nicely turned in.
Good run. A lot of curve on the exit though.
Now Murray's, where it can so easily come unstuck. He's done a good job. You can see the brakes glowing on the front. He crosses the start finish line. He's going to punch out a 2:07.182.
good lap.
Solid lap by Fabian, moves him to the top so far.
Talk to Michael Fabian quickly. Good lap, mate.
No, I wasn't the best, but I'll take it for sure.
Fastest so far, happy with that, you have to be.
I should have been a few tenths faster, I think, but I was a bit nervous and got a bit loose a few times.
First experience in a top 10 shootout, mate. How did you find that?
Yeah, that was awesome. A bit nervous, but maybe a little bit better next time. I'll get used to it.
There are plans for the race now for you? Stay out of trouble?
Oh, yeah. Haven't done a huge amount of laps here. I was away all week, so a little bit behind the 8 ball, I think. Maybe get some practice in tonight and tomorrow at Arvo, hopefully.
Oh, good luck for tomorrow night, mate. We'll talk to you later on.
Thank you. Go the cows.
John Emerson starting a lap now. Third.
Emerson's another driver that's been around for a while. 57 starts in the broadcast race, and he actually does have a race win to his name. That came at Zandvoort.
Zandvoort.
Season 1, 2013.
It
That's my little track.
Third in that race too on the grid and just blitzed ahead of Justin and I think it was Muggo in the front row. You just come from nowhere and it never looked like losing that race. I think you were with me for that one, Sam, man?
Yeah, mate, that was sensational.
He had Justin on his rear bumper for the whole race and never looked like letting him through.
He's a cool character, John Emerson, so it'll be interesting to see how he handles this lap. Because, of course, top 10 shootout, it's a very intense situation to be in here at Bathurst.
Very good first sector, at the same time as Fabian through that first checkpoint.
It's interesting to see no one is really going out massively wide to Reed Park on near the fence. All been a little bit conservative through there.
Having a chat with Madison down earlier, he was saying the difference between obviously qualifying and the top 10 shootout. You'll notice the boys will really rag it because in qualifying they can afford to run a little bit wide or just graze the wall. But as soon as it comes to shootout time, as soon as they do that, it's time over.
All crossed up. Pretty good second sector for John Emerson. This should be pretty close to Michael Fabian's time at the line.
Then a couple of guys now sort of back it into Forest Elbow.
On the limiter. Quite a long time.
He was super deep under brakes there.
Oh, he missed a gear, did he?
I think it was just a short shift.
Yeah, either short shift or... Didn't sound right anyway. He's right on it. Under brakes, he's putting the engine under a lot of stress. Across the line for a 7 flat.
Ah, very good.
Good lap time, that'll move him to the top.
Very nice job.
Talk to him now, good lap. Emo, well done, mate.
Yeah, cheers. That was pretty tough.
How'd you find it, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. Conditions are similar to the qualifying session, I think, but yeah, maybe a bit more slippery. I don't know. Pretty nerve-wracking.
Heard a couple of the other guys saying the wind's a bit stronger as well across the top.
Oh yeah, they reckon? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Felt pretty much the same, I think.
Obviously, happy with that lap time?
Yeah, not too bad. I lost a lot of time in the dipper and Forest Elbow. Nearly put it in the wall, so probably cost me about 4 tenths, I think. So I probably could have done it, yeah, a lot better 6, but 7 flat. I'll probably hold position, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Well, we'll let you go and chat to the rest of the boys, mate. Talk to you after
cheers.
on. Good job.
Thanks.
Thanks, mate. Bo Cubis now the next driver to do his lap.
Bit of a striking new livery for this event too.
Good looking car, isn't it?
The really nice looking cars. They're part of the Race on Oz stable. They're running under the Altitude Volvo Brighton team name.
Now with that new sponsorship, hopefully we can hope to see. Hopefully we'll see Bo Cubis in a couple more races with us. Only made 12 starts so far in the top split, but 7 top 10s out of that. So he's a solid performer.
Yeah, Bo used to race. I think he did a season, and he was very quick, and he sort of just fell off Fell off the radar for a while there, so it's good to see him back out on track.
His best results in what we've been covering so far were a bit wide and
Oh.
bit of a moment there, yeah. Still have to push on though, which is what makes a shootout different to a regular qualifying session. Still pick up some time on some of the others.
All crossed up into the cutting.
He's really
Did a good job of holding on to that.
Well, about half a second off the pace though.
Oh! I think he was just waving to the fans on that one.
Oh.
Definitely been the driver I think that's been pushing the hardest so far.
It's what we want to see in a top 10 shootout.
It's always
That's
good,
right.
Unfortunately, though, it doesn't always give you time. Good run down the mountain so far, though.
He's on the limit, isn't he? Look at the way it's sliding into these corners.
Time at the
Sliding exit.
second sector is actually pretty good, so gained a little bit of time back.
Yeah, he did a much slower outlap, I noticed, than what the other guys have been. So I wonder if maybe the pressure's just starting to come up a little bit nicer for him now. Thought the back half of that's been a lot nicer than the start.
Oh, missed the apex there. Chase. Going to cost him a little bit of time.
So the time that Bo's got to beat is a 2:07 flat from John Mendelson. He comes around the last turn, crosses the start finish line. He'll punch out a 2:07.487.
Moves him into third, so he has lost 2 positions. Not overly bad though. Top 10 shootout, you do expect to move a little bit. We'll quickly talk to Bo now. Bo, you got us, mate?
Yeah, mate, I do. How are you?
Good, mate. How'd you find that?
Tough, yeah. Very hard to replicate the original quality time. Under so much pressure, but yeah, give it a red hot crack anyway.
Obviously, lost a little bit of time at the start of the lap, but how close were you to thinking that you'd lost that at the cutting?
It wasn't so much the cutting, was maybe Griffiths was really out of shape. I'm struggling with the use gears that I wouldn't normally use. I'm dropping it down to second through there. I wouldn't normally do that, but with the way the car is, it's making me, have to do things a little differently.
Well done, mate, for making the first ever top 10 shootout in iRacing, and we'll talk to you later on, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Yep.
Got your the next driver out. Exciting news about him joining ANZ. Good way to debut with the new team.
It was kept fairly under wraps by our good friend Brooksy. I managed to get enough information out of him while he had a couple of too many beers at Bathurst, so just asked the right questions and the man answered. Got definitely a well-known name to the series. He was missing for quite a few seasons living in London. He was missing for about a year and made his return last season.
He's another solid performer though when he is in the field. 30 top 10s from 39 race starts and a pair of podiums to his name as well.
Before we did start broadcasting, he did pick up a couple of wins, but that was back when it was easy and Corey could win too, so
here we go.
Doesn't really count.
I made Mitchell McLeod, Michael McCabe and Rensbrook win that, so it still counts in my book.
Your teammate took him out.
Hey, what's my teammate back then?
Anyway.
I didn't think I had to sign him up.
Alrighty, back to Scotty's lap.
Oh, so close to that wall.
Perfect timing.
I knew that would wind him up.
The thing that'll scare the rest of the field though is that signing a Scott Uren to this team is it's huge for the championship, and their driver lineup is so strong coming into next season.
He's committed down through the S's, isn't he?
Yeah, it looks really good.
I think that's probably one of the best runs down through that we've seen thus far.
And before we came on air today, Scott was very, very, very quick in testing earlier today when he first got a hold of this setup. He was doing the same, around about the same time as what Madison Down did in that qualifying session. So he can be very, very quick when he gets the lap right. Looking very good at the moment. The car bouncing.
Took the fastest out of everyone so far, I think. Oh, a lot of curves out the chase.
Do the wheel work.
One corner to go now. I think it has been the fastest looking lap we've seen so far. He's looking to be a 2:07 dead. I don't think the sixes are putting him on provisional pole so far as he comes to the line.
Good lap.
6.997.
Very
That's
nice.
you want it.
3 1,000ths of a second.
I love it.
Just keeps trying to ever set the provisional pole now.
We might go to Scotty. Well done, Scott. 3 1,000ths. That's all you need. Well done, mate.
Thanks for that. Yeah, it's I thought I was a bit too nervous across the top, so lost a bit of time up there. But yeah, it was fun.
How hard was it?
Oh, it's just the nerves, mate. One lap is all you've got, and so yeah, you're trying not to mess it up, and you're watching everyone else go and seeing where they mess up. So try to make the best of the information you've got, but still, you can't stop these nerves.
Yeah, signing in the new team, that will obviously put you in pretty good stead for next season, mate.
Yeah, it's already been good working with the guys, working on setups, and yeah, trying different things and well, taking half the amount of time to do the same stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the season. We'll see how it goes on, and yeah, see how we go with a whole lot more top 10s hopefully.
Does this move you to the #1 driver in the team with Justin out injured? He might have to work his way back up to get that #1 handle. Between you and Lee for #1, Justin will be back to driver #3.
Yeah, me and Lee are pretty close, so I think it's going to be like that all season, I think, but we'll see. I'm sure Justin's busy over in India watching the F1s and having a laugh, so once his hand's all fixed up, then he should be right, but yeah, I don't know, we'll have to find out when he gets here, but there's no real talk of 1, 2 or 3s in the team, so it's all good.
Alright mate, we'll let you go. Lee's about to start a lap, we'll talk to you after.
Cheers.
So Lee Day on his flying lap here, he took a lot of curb at Murray's corner to start the lap, so he's definitely on it.
Just having a quick look at his car. I'm hoping it's just that my system hasn't refreshed, but it looks like a little bit of damage to the right side of his car. Just around the front wheel arch, so I'm just hoping that it's my my computer and not what happened.
I'm not seeing anything on my screen, so
Excellent. Well, that's good.
Hopefully it's not that my computer's not showing it. Hopefully he's okay.
Well, he's certainly having a red hot go, so it's not slowing him down. I think it's just my computer at the end of the day, but
fastest first sector
good
for
so
Lee
far.
Day.
He's another driver that came on strong towards the end of last season there. Podium finish at Virginia and a lot of fourth place finishes to his name, so I think we'll see him edging closer and closer to a win as the season progresses.
That's best starting position, P2, Road Atlanta. Also P3 at Oran Park last season as well.
Been a pretty good lap so far.
Good second sector.
A lot of wheel work there. Coming to Forest Elbow. On board now. Screams down Conrad. It's at about 295, going that rev limit for quite a while. He turns into the chase flat out.
That's an awesome shot, isn't it?
Yeah, how unstable the car is, it's unbelievable.
Tell you what, boys, this looks fairly tidy. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to the top of the timesheets here.
Out of the final corner.
Oh, good lap.
There you go.
6.
Nice margin.
Great time for Lee Day. Lee unfortunately doesn't have any communication with us, so we'll just pretend we're talking to Lee and have talked to Lee and we'll talk about how good a lap that was.
He'd be fairly chuffed too. Like you said, he's really starting to shine, and you know, obviously the misfortune of Ruggier missing out for the rest of the season. He really did a great job of flying the banner for V8 Supercar fan group and the whole team.
Of course, Justin not even around to, he was talking possibly about coming in the commentary box, but he's over in India at the Formula One, so lucky for him. Josh Muggleton, the next driver, notice that he's changed his number as well. He's gone out with the number 1.
Josh, of course, our reigning V8 Supercar champion here from iRacing. The man with an impressive resume. He's actually, looking at him, he's doing a different sort of warm-up to what some of the other guys have been doing. Far more aggressive in his tyre warming. On and off the brakes there. Only 3 drivers left to fight it out for pole.
Definitely a very different strategy than what we've seen, like you said, Leo, with the warm-up lap. He was running that thing pretty high in the revs there and zigzagging, so they're trying to burn off the fuel and warm up tyres.
But I'm sure that Josh knows what he's doing. He's a driver with a very impressive resume. 93 starts in the iRacing V8 Supercar for one of our broadcast starts. I believe that's actually all of them. He's been here the entire time. 12 wins to his name, 9 pole positions, and of course our reigning series champion.
Yeah, he's only missed a couple, but he and Madison Down both missed a few, but they still ended up on the exact same number at 93. Pole 9.6% of the time, so about 1 in 10 races Mugger gets pole, but last season he got so many. He had 4 poles last season.
It was such an impressive season from Muggleton. Very deserving champion he was.
Sorry, let me say that again. 7 poles last season for Muggo.
Of course, he's striking a new look. You're obviously used to seeing him in his Tats.com colours, but gone to a little bit of a retro TTR skin.
.47.3 at the first checkpoint. Not too bad.
Using all the road down towards the grate.
They look good. Half a tenth behind Day at the first checkpoint.
Got a good run out of the dipper there. A lot
Great
of guys
second
with the
sector.
Back of the car, a lot of guys move around, but he was very, very stable.
Sorry, Corey. Best second sector, so this lap is on it. Has to finish it off. Top speed 294. Flips the curb. Car unstable under brakes, but still managed to keep it under control. Looks very quick.
Car looked fantastic for the chase. Breaking down for Murray's, just 1 corner to go.
You'd have to say he's got this one.
Yep. There it is, 6-3. Good lap from Muggleton.
Picked up
Gets
3
a 10.
tenths. Yeah.
Yep.
Very
That
nice.
puts a lot of pressure on Richard Hampstead and Madison Down. Now the 2 guys still to come. That's a great lap.
Great lap, Muggo.
Yeah, not too unhappy with that. That's pretty good. Kept it off the wall, kept it straight. Yeah, so yeah, not too bad.
Where'd you find you gained the most time there or lost the most time, mate?
Across the top, like, you just have to be so careful on these laps that you actually make it count, so you leave that extra bit of room to the walls and make sure you don't nick one or anything, so yeah, mainly across the top. Turn 2, I'll plug it up quite bad, so, but yeah, it's secured me at least 3rd, so we'll see if the top 2 boys keep it playing.
How does it feel to finally have that number 1 on your car, mate?
Yeah, well, I forgot to put it on for the warm-up and the open qualifying, so quickly got the painters to put it on, but yeah, it feels good. It's a long time coming and worked hard for it, so yeah, it feels good to have it on there.
Righto, mate, we'll talk to you later on. Good job.
Cheers.
So Richard Hampstead now second last driver to do his shootout lap.
Big question here is, will we see either of these next 2 guys hit a 5? They've easily been the pace setters all week. 5 in qualifying will be something very, very special, and shootout rather be very special.
One thing we always talk about, Hampstead very, very quick, but doesn't very often get a pole position.
It's interesting to note his pole to win ratio there. From 69 race starts, 4 pole positions, but 14 race wins. So starting position isn't the biggest thing to Richard Hampstead because definitely race his way to the front.
He's definitely a driver that's always there when it counts at the end of the race. So when he's on it, he's very, very good.
Yeah,
well, looks good there through Griffin's Bend.
His performance at Alton Park last week was fantastic. Always has great race pace, Richard Hampstead.
Good first sector.
A lot more of the road down there too. Definitely on it.
Yep. Pushing hard, but the car still looks nice and tidy. Over Skyline now, down through the S's. Just the right amount of curb on the left, through the dipper, down towards Forest Elbow. Tell you what, it looks good.
Yeah, good second sector. Going to be coming out at the moment, he's looking around about the same time as Muggo. That should be very, very close here, boys.
I think we've all been very quiet just watching this lap. These guys are seriously on the limit. It's so good to watch.
Oh, it's intense, isn't it?
He's got one corner to run now. It is absolutely amazing. One corner to run now. As Hampstead on the brakes. Got to get it in there, make the apex. Looking to beat a 6-3 by Josh Muggleton out to the line.
Won't do it. Doesn't do it. 6-5.
Oh.
Won't be happy with that. So Muggleton's guaranteed a front row start. Hampstead slots into second position.
A little bit disappointed with that one.
Might talk to now. Hammer, obviously a little bit upset with that.
Yeah, not too happy. I tell you what, these shootouts are a lot harder than they seem. Made quite a few mistakes. Ran really wide at turn 1 and probably a bit too conservative over the top of the mountain, but you know, it's a long race tomorrow, I'm sure. Shouldn't be starting any worse than third, so it's not all bad.
That more nerve-wracking than you thought it would be?
Not nerve-wracking, just difficult. It's hard to really know what the grip is and how hard to push, and yeah, it's difficult, I tell you that.
Alright, we'll talk to you later on. Well done. Third at worst. Not a bad starting spot either way.
No, not too bad. Well, thanks a lot, guys.
No worries, mate. See ya.
Cheers.
So Madison down now. Get this on the front row. The first ever race at Mount Panorama will be an all TTR front row. So I know that'll make the guys happy, and a certain commentator in here happy also.
Not done yet, Corey. You've still got to complete the lap.
Yeah, you put the muzzle on him now.
I'm trying to.
I was going to say, that's what his aim was.
But Madison down, been the form driver throughout this series, hasn't he? 93 race starts, 43 pole positions, 42 race wins. It's quite an impressive record. He took 4 wins last season, including that epic battle at Watkins Glen. But top 10 shootout at Bathurst, of course, something these guys have never done before.
Madison is one guy that has done a little bit of this before. He has done top 10 shootouts in R Factor, which I don't think any of the other guys in this top 10 have. So may be a little bit of an advantage to him. Fastest first sector by a long way. He's about 3/10 up.
Nice.
And he's not backing out of it. He's going to push on. He's going to smash these guys if he continues this.
Now, it looks so quick, doesn't it? If he keeps this up, he'll be into the 5s, no doubt.
Oh, a little bit of trouble there coming through, but it's still very, very quick.
Gets it turned in nice. Nice exit, gets the power down.
He's squirming, get the power down there. Good run on to Conrod. The hardest bit he's done, but it can still go all wrong down at the chase.
You're not wrong. If you're looking at the times too, if he's seeing the times on the dash, he knows he gets to hold it foot flat to the floor through here, through the right-hander.
He used all of the road off to the left, had all four wheels on the other side of the painted line, attacking
very
the chase.
deep on the brakes and big curve use. One corner to go, that's a good lap for Madison down.
Yeah, nice and tidy. The time he needs to beat to grab pole is a 2:06.308 by his teammate and series champion Josh Muggleton. He comes out of the final turn.
Done it easy.
He'll cross the time, and it's a 2:06.182.
Great lap for Madison down. He will start from pole position.
TTR front row.
Talk to him now. Good lap, Mad. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, fellas. Pretty happy to get that one out of the way. Butterflies in the stomach before that lap, so yeah, really happy to keep that out of the fence.
How nerve-wracking was that, mate?
Oh man, my voice is trembling now. It's just, your legs are shaking on the pedal in the first few corners, and you've done hundreds of laps in preparation for the event, but it makes no difference at all. In the end, you've only got one lap to pull something amazing out and keep out of the fence. So yeah, really happy just to do a good clean lap.
Now we were saying that it's not the first time that you've done a top 10 shootout, Matt. How does it compare?
Yeah, first time in iRacing. I've done a few others in other simulators before, and I really enjoy them. I think they're fantastic. Obviously different physics, different games, but the pressure's the same, Awesome. Need to do these top 10 shootouts more often if we can. I love them.
Now, obviously, qualifying's different, like we're talking about. It's a very different format with the one-lapper. With the fixed series, fixed setup that we're running this weekend, normally tyre pressures and the fuel loads are a little bit different come qualifying time. So how was it to get your head around that?
Oh yeah, that's it. I mean, this is a race setup, as you guys probably know, with the fixed setup. So I did quite a fast outlap. I did notice that the pressures start quite low. So normally you'd see in qualifying on Monday nights we do the slow outlaps, but tonight I found the faster outlaps and burn more fuel out of the car was the way to go in qualifying. But it's the same deal for everyone. You would have seen everyone approach it differently in that session, and yeah, close times too, up and down the field, really good.
Oh, well done, mate. Congratulations. You'll start out the first ever broadcast race from Mount Panorama Bathurst in the V8 Supercar from pole position. Well done.
Thanks, man. Bring on tomorrow.
Might wrap it up in just a minute. We'll go through the qualifying results first. Madison Down will start tomorrow night from pole position from Josh Muggleton in second, Richard Hampstead in third, Lee Day in fourth, Scott Uren in fifth position, John Emerson sixth, Michael Fabian in seventh, Bo Cubis in eighth, Dean O'Brien ninth, and Ian Ford in 10th. That is the most fantastic 10 laps I've ever watched.
Oh, that is hands down the best thing I think we've ever broadcasted.
Yep, agree.
Oh, brilliant, wasn't it? If we could do that every week, that'd be fantastic. I wish we could.
We might wrap it up there. Thanks, Sandman, for jumping in your stinky race suit.
You've got to try hard around this place.
Bring some deodorant next time, will you?
Well, fingers crossed I'm not talking to you too early tomorrow night.
Hopefully not, mate. Well done. Good luck tomorrow night. Thanks, Leo.
Yeah, not a problem, Jay. As good as that was, we'll see you all again to do it even better tomorrow. 61 laps. Bring it on.
Thanks, Corey. Unfortunately, won't be with us tomorrow night, but thanks for your work tonight, mate.
It's been great. At least I was here for the shootout, so I'm happy with that. And the minute I get home tomorrow night, I'll crack a beer and watch the replay, that's for sure.
Thanks to Seb behind the scenes. Remember to donate to the McGrath Foundation. Head to donate.v8online.com.au. You're watching V8 Online's live coverage of the Oceanic Sim Racing's Race of Champions, proudly supporting the McGrath Foundation. Pole position has gone to Madison Down.
It's a place where heroes are born and legends are created. Many will come to conquer it, but only one will tame it. This one person will be our champion. Their time is now. The mountain is calling.